Welcome to the Jazz and Eli podcast. I'm feeling much better this week. If our one viewer is listening and paying attention, today's topic is
ghost stories.
Yay! I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about ghost stories and stuff, and just ghost adventures and stuff, and the Jenna and Julian podcast, they talked about some ghost stories, and then H3H3 podcasts, they've been taught, he asks his guests, it's like, do you have any ghost stories? And I've been listening to a lot of them, and I was like, I have some ghost stories. I
definitely have some ghost stories.
I haven't had a recent one in a few years, but when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
I don't know. Our current house is pretty quiet, so
yeah. This house is quiet too.
Iffy up front, but
the front of the house is the scariest.
I don't live back there, so I don't really deal with it so much anymore. Growing up in the living where Lily is now, I did not like passing my full-length mirror in the night. Walking through that front part of the house when it was dark was super creepy.
Yeah.
But it was never more than just that. It just felt really super creepy. And, honestly, I don't feel that in the back of the house at all, ever.
Yeah.
But front of the house, I definitely did when I was a teenager.
Right. When I was a kid, it was pretty creepy. You'd always see a shadow in the hallway just,
right.
passing by. And then me and Catherine were arguing with each other. We were like, you go shut the door. And I was like, no, you go shut the door. We went off like that for a while. It was the door hole where the knob used to be darkened and it shut.
Yeah, that's a little creepy.
It was so creepy. We just froze and stood there. We were like, did you shut the door? No. I was like, oh, fuck.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, exactly. I was terrified.
Yeah. I never had anything that intense in that house. Now, when your dad and I were living over on La by the tracks, we would be sitting there talking or whatever, and we'd hear a crash in our kitchen, something like pots and pans had fallen on the floor.
Yeah.
We'd go in there, nothing in the floor. Nothing at all. And then there was that one time we were just sitting there talking, and we heard
hello or whatever.
Somebody talking to us from the kitchen.
Ooh.
Of course, our front door was locked.
And you didn't have any roommates?
No, it was just us. It was a teeny tiny little apartment.
So it was
honestly, Catherine and Chris's place is bigger than the place we were living in.
Whoa.
It was
the
little.
kitchen was bigger.
Yeah, the kitchen was huge. It was ridiculous.
The shower had, when you turned it on, the water hit you right on the chest, so you had to hunch down to wash your hair.
And it was one of those little
house.
3x3 cubes in the middle, at the one end of a 7 foot long room, 3 foot wide.
Yeah.
So, it was a tiny freaking place.
Right. Oh, God. I don't think I've ever lived in a super small place.
Well, I think
the smallest place I lived,
I was just there by myself. So, until your dad moved in, it was just me. So I didn't need anything bigger than that.
Right.
Anyway, but yeah, that place was super creepy.
Did you have any more encounters there?
We didn't end up living there that much longer.
So it said hello to us.
It honestly had nothing to do with that. It was just a matter of being able to pay the rent and whatnot. So we ended up moving in with your grandmother, back in with your grandmother for a little while. But
back in the creepy house.
Living in Lily's room, oddly enough, my old bedroom.
Well, I imagine that's where you would be living since that was your bedroom.
Your grandmother was still living in her room,
which was my room when I was a kid.
Right, and is now Samantha's room.
Yep.
Let's see.
Samantha being my sister, if you haven't heard.
Right, and Lily is also
my sister, if you haven't heard before. If you want to know,
there's four of them: Elizabeth, Catherine, Samantha.
That's
Lily.
A whole other podcast. It's podcast number 1. If you want to check it out, we did cover it. Getting to know us. Go check it out.
All right. So
But
moving along.
After that, where did you live? After Grandma's?
Let's see. We lived on that little place on Lahoma.
Was it
Wait,
haunted?
the other one was Eufaula.
Was
I'm
it
sorry,
haunted?
I think I said Lahoma earlier. Now, the one on Lahoma was not terribly, that I recall.
Where was the next haunted place that you
The next haunted place, college, really.
Yeah. What happened at
I mean,
college?
no, actually Manor. Manor,
Oh, yeah, when I was a kid.
when you were
When I was a
really
baby.
little,
Yeah.
we had the kind of the shadow in the hall, you know, it
Just
was
so-
a little kid, I swear to God it was.
Ew.
It was, because it was never more than 3 or so foot tall, so it looked like one of you kids poking around the...
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, that's...
it was creepy. It was
Oh.
truly creepy, but there wasn't anything more than that. There was never...
the air conditioner.
Yeah, it liked to mess
Well,
with the air
thermostat,
conditioner.
yeah.
Yeah, it would mess with the thermostat, turning things on or up and down. And the person that lived there after us had the same experience, that the thermostat would never be where it was supposed to be.
Like, it would be too cold or too hot.
Yeah.
Either way.
It would just mess with it.
Oh, just to whatever to fuck with you.
Right. And,
man.
but yeah, the biggest thing I remember there was just poking around on the side of the hallway.
I mean, I don't know if I remember that place specifically. Because,
You were really little
I mean,
when we moved
little
out
things
of there.
here and there, just like, you know,
Yeah,
bits
'cause
of memory,
let's
but
see.
nothing like terrifying.
It was right before I got pregnant with Samantha when we moved out of there. So you couldn't have been more than 4 when we moved out of there.
Whoa.
Yeah. So yeah, bits and pieces is about what I would expect.
Yeah.
Now,
And then
when we moved
college.
into college, that was a big old 2-story, 5-ish bedroom, 4 to 5 bedroom house, depending on how you wanted to split it up.
Close to OU campus.
It was right by OU campus. Anyway, that house was really, really active. Let's see. I don't even know where to start with that house. Let's see. When you guys were asleep, we would hear toys moving across the floor. We'd go and check on you. Of course, you guys were really, really little, so you were super bad fakers.
Yeah.
I mean,
You could tell when a kid
when a
was
3 and 4 year old are pretending to sleep, it's obvious.
It's so obvious.
They're really, really bad at faking at that
You never
age.
know until you have a kid how obvious that is.
Yeah, 3-year-olds are bad at it.
So
They
you
giggle.
come up, we're sleeping.
Right,
We're dead asleep.
Dead asleep. And
Yeah.
we have heard toys moving across. I mean, and it would be all night long.
Running around and...
Yeah, hear little footprints. We'd hear toys. It was mostly toys, but yeah, every once in a while we'd hear across the floor. Or
So slice.
yeah, you know, and you'd go up there, nothing.
Yeah, as Steve
A
told me
bunch of
that,
sleeping kids.
that he would, like, the first time he heard it, he went up there, sat down on the step, like, as soon as he saw us, he didn't see us awake. It was
Right,
obvious
right.
we were sleeping, and he sat down on the first step, and he waited until he heard it again, and then he looked back, and we were still dead asleep.
Yeah. One night I was by myself, so I mean, granted, there's nobody to corroborate, but we're telling ghost stories here. Nobody needs corroboration.
I mean, it's like you believe or you don't.
Right.
You take it
Believe me or don't.
with whatever.
It was
grain
late
of
at
salt
night,
you
yes.
see.
I was by myself, yes. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was just sitting there reading, and the house was dead quiet. Everybody else was asleep, and I heard somebody say hello to me from the hallway. I was downstairs, and you know that hallway that went behind the stairs to the kitchen. Yeah, I heard somebody say hello to me from that hallway. Your dad was upstairs asleep. Tony and Anthony had been hanging out, but they were gone right at the moment. And Opie was asleep.
You had enough time to sit down.
Oh, I had been sitting reading for a good hour.
Yeah, so you had time to sit down and read. I mean, if you
I had been reading for a while
Yeah.
when I heard that. And I was just like,
just frozen.
okay. And then shortly thereafter, people, you know, Tony and Anthony showed back up, and I was like, oh my gosh, you guys. And because we'd been waiting, because, you know, we'd heard the activity and all that. We were waiting for something like that to happen.
Uh-huh.
And they had left. I guess they'd gone to the store or something. And, yeah, I had been sitting there reading for a little while and heard
Just
that.
waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, and
then
then
it
there was the
happens
time
when
your dad
everybody
was we were taking a nap. It was mid-afternoon, middle of the day, and he felt a little hand touch his leg. He thought it was one of you guys. Looks up, nobody's in the room with us.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That was real fun. Me and the ghost had a little talk at that point. I was like, y'all can move stuff around. You can talk from the hallway. That's all good. But all bets are off. You touch me.
All bets are off if you touch me, my kids,
No.
anyone.
Yeah,
else.
it's like...
Because they're like, felt the touch, I opened my eyes, saw nothing. I was like, well, as long as it's not a bad spirit, I'm good.
Yeah, because it was like a little... Yeah. Little hand on his leg
Children
yet.
ghosts or, something hiding as a child is just...
It's a little extra creepy, yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
When I don't remember...
And that house, you guys have your own stories for that.
Yeah, like, I remember, like, a ghost town or something like that. It's like we had this quote-unquote elevator that we would hop onto, and we'd go to this ghost town, and we'd, talk with people or whatever.
What about the airport?
Yeah, it was basically
you guys called it like an airport.
I think we meant elevator. Because
again, really little.
We were really little. Like, we were, 6 and 7, 7 and 8. Like, we were kids.
Yeah.
And I probably meant elevator and not airport. But basically, that was us. It was taking us up to this place, and we hung out and had fun. And then we'd come back, and we just played.
And then you try to recreate it once you got it?
When we moved to the Garver house, when we moved to the house, we tried to play it again, and it wasn't the same. I don't know if it was just a change mentally in our childhood. I don't know, or if it was this was a thing, and we were actually playing with something.
Lead paint exposure.
Yeah, that's what
right.
it was.
Hallucination. Yeah.
That's what makes me think it was along the same lines of all the other activity that was going on in the house, because when you tried to recreate it, when you changed locations, it didn't work. It wasn't the same.
Exactly. I don't know, if that's a kid's imagination growing up. A lot of things happened in that time frame.
That is true.
So, I don't know. And then, little things here and there, we'd hear, probably footsteps and something messing with stuff, and we'd wake up, and, I remember this really vivid dream where I was spinning around the room, and I just kept spinning, and then I just fell and, cut my arm. And then when I woke up, I had a cut on my arm.
Huh.
I had to cover it up with, a Band-Aid, and,
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I don't know. And then, you had these, shower curtains hanging up in that, really big, nook, I would call it. Remember there's, this closet
yeah. It wasn't
thing?
really a closet, but it was,
It had a light in the middle of the room, in the space. And it
was just like a little cubby.
It was a pretty good cubby. You could probably fit a bookshelf and a couch.
Maybe a small desk or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember the
that's
little
kind of how it was.
Area you were talking about.
You put curtain rods across it and hung our clothes on it, and they just kept falling, all the time. They always fell. I don't know if that was from the weight of the clothes, or if it was something fucking with it. I remember telling you it was the gremlins messing with it. I don't know.
Yeah, that house was crazy. I know we spent a lot of time running around in graveyards when we were long before you came along.
Yeah. I didn't expect you to be taking a 2 or 3 year old to the graveyard.
We kind of did.
In the middle of the night?
Jessie, she kept our hours.
Oh, okay.
So, she would sleep as long as we did, because she was up with us half the night too.
Right.
we were a bunch of 20-year-olds running around with an infant. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, and Jesse's a couple of years older than I.
Yeah, Jessie was born, I want to say, in 91.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's a few
She's
years.
a significant, just like
she's
4 years
four
older
years
than me.
older than you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a lot of running around with her in the car. Sometimes she'd sleep through a good chunk of it.
Yeah.
I mean, driving around in a car with a baby.
Eventually, they're bound to pass out.
Right. But yeah, we went to a lot of, we call it graveyard hopping. We played with Ouija boards. And
Oh my God! Why would you do that? That's opening up like that's opening up a door you can't
I'll
close.
do it right now.
No, you fucking won't. Not in this house. Unless I'm dead and died in this house.
All right, we'll burn some sage then.
No.
No,
We
no.
just don't mess with it.
No.
Hey, my grandma had a Ouija board.
I bet she did.
One of the original ones. And she wrote her bills on it. She didn't use it. She used it as a lap bill to write the bills out, her checks and stuff.
I love your grandmother.
No way. I would no way. There's some
She didn't believe
things
that shit.
I do. To certain extents, I do. My
It's
belief.
possible we invited some of this stuff at that point in time.
Probably. And you
It took a while for it to stop following us around.
Like at my apartment complex, something was outside my bedroom. And like not one, but 3 people told me they saw it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like when Sam moved in, she's like, I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want to freak you out. And I was like, yeah, it freaked me out. Like, there's a figure outside of my bedroom door where me and my child sleep.
Outside your bedroom door?
Outside my bedroom door, and
Oh
we
my
stand
God.
outside of it.
That's creepy.
Like, Leonard saw
That's
it,
not us.
Shelby saw it.
That was you. That was that apartment.
I was fucking attached to you.
Why would it be at your apartment, not my house? If it was
Things
attached
can cling.
to me.
Things can cling. But I fucking cleansed the hell out of that apartment. Like, as soon as I heard about it. I was like, we getting some shit. I'm not doing this. Like, we cleansed it.
Yeah, whatever we picked up was pretty benign. I mean, it...
We told it to get the hell out of the
Now,
house.
see, something standing outside your door creeping you out, that's something different. That's not what I'm talking about.
I felt personally threatened. I needed it to go.
Yeah, that's different. We never had anything that clung to us that was that threatening.
Like, I
mean, really, most of the stuff that we came across was pretty... I mean, granted, we probably could have invited something a whole lot worse along, but we got pretty lucky, I think, all in all, because we didn't really attract anything too terrible.
You know how I told you about mild hauntings and, like, severe hauntings?
Uh-huh.
There are levels of haunting.
I'm aware of this.
You looked at me like I was insane. I was
Whatever.
like a mild... we were talking about hauntings. I was like, yeah, I've only experienced a mild haunting. Like, I'm okay with a mild haunting.
Shit peeking around the corner.
Yeah,
moving
like...
stuff around.
Just, like, fucking with you a little bit. It's like, I'm here. Just so you know I'm here.
A little trickster.
Something. Nothing demonic.
No, I've never run across anything like
Pure
that.
evil, negative spirits? Heck no.
No, I've never run across anything like that.
Like,
Even
as
when we were
soon-
running around in graveyards, I never ran across anything like that.
Yeah, as soon
Seriously
as...
got lucky. We had some good guardians watching us.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. we really got lucky. We're lucky we didn't run across any crazy humans.
Really?
Let alone any spirits. There was a big group of us, though. I mean, honestly, if it had just been like 1 or 2 people, we wouldn't. I don't think anybody would have messed with us just because there were so many of us.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we took up 2 cars.
Yeah.
There was so many of us. I mean, we're talking at least 7 or 8 of us at a time running around. One of us in a car and one of us in a truck.
Yeah.
Because Charlie would come along.
Yeah.
But, well, that took up 12 whole minutes.
Well,
I
I
know
mean...
that the first one was like 10, so we're about...
So that's like 22 minutes. I didn't expect this to be, entirely long. because we haven't had too many experiences. But, like, some of the things that I hear sometimes when I talk to people about their experiences creep me out
For
to
real,
the
right.
max. I'm just like, I could
your
not
grandmother,
imagine.
although she claims to be atheist and doesn't believe in ghosts, and when you die, you're a wisp
I
of
think
smoke.
she's full of crap on the ghost thing because she's changed her mind from when I was a kid, because she believed in ghosts when I was a kid.
Well, when your great grandmother died, her like she had a sound machine, and it went off like at I don't remember what it did. I don't remember what she said it did, but it did something weird, like played a song or something.
It did something it wasn't supposed to do.
At the time that her mother died.
Ooh, ew, ew, ew.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm like in the next sentence. Oh, but you know, we're just a wisp of smoke. Blah blah.
Yeah.
Blah. And that's why you just told me that story.
Yeah, really. Like, it only made me feel, even more so like this happened.
But that bitch better come visit me.
Yeah.
Your grandmother better come visit
You
me.
visit me.
Oh, I will. Oh, I'll let you know.
Oh, God, it's going to creep me out, but you too.
Your dad is gonna. Yes, he's gonna go out of his way to make our lives crazy.
Right? Oh, God.
At least we've leveled
just
up
my
from
dad.
being buried in the backyard to he just wants to be made into a diamond that we pass down through the generations.
And hopes that it's black.
Yes.
I hope it's
I really
black.
hope it's black too.
That's his dying wish.
You're gonna be like getting out of the shower and you're gonna see like writing. You're like, I'm watching you.
Ew, why would you be in the bathroom?
Don't watch your children in the shower, Henry.
That's
please.
creepy.
Foggy bear. You know, you're like,
Just
spirit
hi.
down.
Hey, what's up?
Like Santa Claus.
Oh, he leaves a whole paragraph about this new video game he's playing in the afterlife. So this blah 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 blah. Oh, did you see the new? Hey, can you watch this so I can watch it?
Right?
And then he'd quiz me about it. Were you paying attention? Why were you on your phone?
Yeah.
Can you give me one too? A cup? Just a cup. Help.
Abuse.
Abuse, abuse.
Let's see. Do we have any other fun little stories we can tell like that?
I don't know.
Seems to me we should have better stories than that.
Right? We totally should. Thanks, Daddy.
Really?
I knew it'd get his reaction. Darn. No, wow. Fuck.
Alright, you two.
Get off of me. Stop.
Let's see. Do I have any fun stories when we were running around? Not really.
Nothing illegal. That cuts out all your stories.
No, actually back then, not so much.
Let's do hallucinogens. Tell me about your hallucinations and what you hallucinated on.
Why?
Or should that be a different podcast?
That should probably be a different podcast.
I feel like that would take about as much time as the ghost thing would. So we could split. We could be like ghost stories / 90s hallucination stories.
I don't know. if There's really that much to tell.
Because the best 90s cartoons, I'm sorry, but everybody was fucking high on acid when they made those cartoons, like Courage the Cowardly
Entirely
Dog
possible.
and Ed, Edd n Eddy. Oh my god, somebody had to have been on some fucking acid when they made that shit.
For real, right?
Cat Dog. Ren and Stimpy.
For real, on Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. That dude was tripping.
I mean, for
Or
real.
at least aiming what he was doing at.
Rocco's Modern Life.
That is shitty cartoon too.
Well, that's about the time SpongeBob came out too.
Oh, early SpongeBob. Oh my god.
Yeah, like mid-90s, that's when I'm pretty sure.
That's so weird that it came out that early.
Yeah.
It's been a part of so many childhoods.
Right.
So many of them.
Pokemon 20 fucking seasons.
This is true. Pokemon's been
20
around forever.
seasons, yep.
20 seasons right now. God.
I mean, that's been around since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Now my daughter's watching it.
Loves it.
Absolutely loves that show. Are you sure you don't want to talk about your acid trips?
Podcast number 3.
Okay, fine.
Might want to cut some of this out.
Probably.
Save that for another day.
Leave it all. I'm leaving all of it. Alright, guys, that's the end of this podcast, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say on the ghost stories. I think we pretty much exhausted most of them.
This was not interesting enough, but that's fine. I mean,
Those were
they were
our
creepy.
stories.
I mean, a little bit of my skin started
Yeah,
to crawl.
mine too. Yeah.
So it's just like, I mean, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you would like to follow us, you can follow us at Eli Podcasts on Twitter because I messed up and somehow it got the end of, I don't know. So, we'll see you guys next week on Thursday. This is Eli,
This is Jazz.
and we'll see you guys later.